So Scott, did you like that talk by Atta Satyajanarian or whatever, how you pronounce his last name?
What's that?
Did
Sorry.
you listen to that talk by Atta Satyajanarian?
I did. I did.
That was very interesting about the
It
Hubble
was
Ultra
really
Deep Field.
interesting.
I
Yeah,
like that.
it was. There was a lot of interesting things on last night. So,
Yeah, he answered some really unusual questions, and he answered some questions I'm sure that he thought were really redundant.
oh sure, but that's part of, if you're doing educational outreach, you have to know that you're going to be asked many of the same questions again and again and again,
Oh yeah.
you know? But
Listen, when I'm at the bottom of the ladder with our scope, every
yeah,
kid asks me the same thing. Where is it? What is it?
where is it?
I'm like,
Right.
and I have to ask them the same thing. Can you see it? And
Uh-huh.
they're like, yeah. And I'm like, all right.
Right. That's right.
I actually really get a kick out of it. I like it a lot.
Me too. Me too. A lot of people they ask they see you doing a lot of educational outreach type of things. They go, "God, how do you have the energy to do all that?" And you go, "Actually, the real answer is that that's where you're getting your energy from, is by doing it."
I
It's
guess.
I think that people that are very involved in it kind of do it, be honest, for a selfish reason, because you get so much out of it yourself. It's not money. It's not, but it is, for me, when I'm doing educational outreach, things aren't right for me in the world, I'll go and do sidewalk astronomy, and things are just so much better. So
Right. I like I like going out and showing the kids the planets and the moon. It's real easy for them to see in the eyepiece.
yeah.
Brighter objects are good, like Orion is the best, is the absolute best. And especially in the 18. You see a lot of stars in the nebula there if you don't, if you
Hmm.
want to take the time to look, that you don't normally see in a smaller scope.
Right.
I know you know that. I'm sure you spent some time down there with John Pratt and his 32.
I did.
That's
Oh
an
yeah.
amazing
Me and
telescope.
everybody else.
Yeah, that is an amazing telescope.
Yeah. Do you belong to any other clubs or anything, Russ?
Uh, well, for a while I was a member of Escambia County Astronomy Club. Wayne Wooten, Dr. Wayne Wooten.
Okay.
Have you heard of him?
I have not.
Oh, okay. And South Jersey Astronomy Club.
And which astronomy club?
South Jersey.
South Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Is
used
that
to
where
have
you're
our,
originally
we still have a
from?
star
Or
party.
yeah.
Yeah, it's out of Belle Plaine State Forest.
The southern state of New Jersey is where Edmund Scientific was, their original
Yeah.
offices. They were a client of mine for a while, and I got to meet, you know, old man Edmund, which was kind of cool.
No, I never met them.
Yeah, it was a family-run business for a long time.
Oh my goodness. Scott,
Yes,
uh, I actually might have to step away briefly.
go ahead. We'll wait for you.
Well, no, not right now, but I completely forgot about this guy that's coming to donate a telescope to us.
Oh,
He's coming to my
well,
house
that's all part of it. This is why we do these things live.
at 5 o'clock.
That's part of it.
So when he rings the bell, I sort of got a jet for a minute or
You
two.
got to do it. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Jerry and I know how to roll with those things. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the 127th episode of the OpenGOTO Community Live. And our special guest today is Russ Brick. He is the president of the Southern Cross Astronomical Society. It's great to have you on, Russ. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Scott. It's great to be here.
Right. We were talking, you probably heard us as we were starting the program, that Russ may have to dash out because he's president of an astronomy club, and so there always some sort of activity going on, and he's expecting a telescope donation, I guess, to the club here at any moment. So if he has to dash out, then we'll kind of Jerry promised to do a song and dance for us, in between that time.
Oh, I can't believe I'm going to miss that.
Yeah, that's right. And so anyhow, we have a lot of our regular viewers on today, Russ, including Astro Beard, Richard Grace, Bergman Scooter's on, Norm Hughes, Cameron Gillis says hello from Seattle, Book Davies, Mike Wiesner said great star party last night. We've got
Mike Wiesner. I've been to his page about a zillion times with my Meade telescopes.
Oh, yeah. Tons of information. Michael Whitaker is here. Good evening, everybody. And James, the astrophotographer. I think I mentioned Cameron Gillis with us. Harold Locke. Great night watching last night's star party. Thank you. They did a great job. And let's see. Oh, Mike Wiesner said, my first telescope was an Edmund Scientific 3-inch Newtonian. We all had those little telescopes. It's great, though. That's what got us started.
Actually, the telescope that this guy is donating to me today is a little Tasco, which is
really?
what I actually started out with.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So my first telescope, I always show it. I always bring it out. This is my first telescope, and it's a 40 millimeter refractor, has a push-pull zoom eyepiece, had rack and pinion focuser. The finder scope has no adjustment at all. Okay, it's just held up there in a bracket, and there's no optics in it at all. It was just a peephole and just the end of the tube, and that's how you found your way around. The tripod's pretty wobbly. It's just a tabletop tripod. You'll see I still have the Kmart focal telescope tag on it. This is from 1970, okay? And that was, I was 10 years old at the time. But
in that kind of condition, it might be worth some money.
But anyhow, let's get to know you a little bit better. Let's introduce yourself to our group. Russ, I know that you've been involved in amateur astronomy for a long time. But how do you get started? What inspired you to get involved in astronomy and be interested in space?
Well, actually, when I came home from the military, I moved into this apartment. And it had an attic, and upstairs in the attic was this Tasco telescope.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And I was like 19 years old, and I took it out and I sat out on the front porch of my house, and my front porch faced almost due east, so the beach was right there. This is in Brigantine, New Jersey, so it was always inky black coming up over my house. And, like just out over the houses at the beach. And I saw Jupiter for the first time in a telescope. Oh. And I was hooked from then on.
Oh, yeah. Right.
I remember it took me about like an hour to find it, too, in that little teeny tiny telescope. But I found it.
It opened up the whole universe to you.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people, once you kind of get in the hobby, a lot of us, as we get more serious telescopes, we think about those little department store telescopes as if they're trash. A lot of people tell me, "Oh, Scott, why do why do you even sell that stuff? Because it just turns off so many people onto astronomy. I would argue they turn on so many people to astronomy.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
You're a president of the Southern Cross Astronomical Society. It's a 100-year-old organization. We should talk about that a little bit. You are very involved in educational outreach. You're operating the Winter Star Party, or at least helping to operate the Winter Star Party. That's about one of the top star parties there are in the world. And
so it's quite an experience.
No, yeah,
it really is.
So let's talk a little bit about Southern Cross. I started researching about the founder a little bit, and how long have you been involved with the club?
Well, I joined the club in 2005 when I first got here. And I served on the Winter Star Party host committee, which I still do now, but in a different capacity. Now I'm the vendor coordinator.
I see.
But I became president 3 years ago.
I see. Excellent. And so the founder, the story about the Southern Cross Astronomical Society is it begins with this guy. I believe he's from like Atlanta, Georgia. He's a businessman. His name was S. Lynn Rohrer, and he was big into educational outreach, just like Russ is. And he makes a trip to Florida. He decides, I guess he's in Miami. He's staying at this beautiful hotel that was built by one of the railroad magnates of the time, and it was called the Royal Palm Hotel and Park near Miami River. Okay, and he brings a 5-inch Alvin Clark refractor. Russ, tell us, you guys still have some of the Alvin Clark scopes from that time, is that right?
Yes, we do. We have we have 3 tubes. They're all 5-inch tubes. 2 of them actually have dual focusers, and one of them has a single focus knob, because that used to be a trademark of Clark's prior, I think, to the sun, right prior to the sun taking over, I believe.
Okay.
They were all single speed and single dial focusers.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 5-inch lenses and a whole host of assorted parts. We're hoping to complete 1 telescope by our centennial, which will be in 2022.
Okay.
To have on display at the observatory for our centennial celebration.
Oh, that's going to be cool. So do you guys have, I guess I'm digressing a little bit. We'll talk about if you have plans for the 100-year anniversary, but,
we haven't really laid out anything yet.
Okay.
But, I've thought about some things that, we could do out at the observatory property, and some things that we could do to promote the centennial beforehand. We are really trying to get back to our outreach programs, because we're just not doing anything at all. It's just far too problematic to try and keep the telescope sterile for each individual. And then, you can't really have the whole social distancing thing. So,
Well, I wouldn't say that you guys are doing nothing at all. You put together an amazing program. Right? So you're still doing Winter Star Party. You guys had...
the amazing broadcasting is by you, Scott. Now, come on.
No.
You got to take credit where credit is due.
I did not do the content. Okay, you guys did the content.
You're helping us get it out to the public.
That's the hard part. So,
I just... No, Sergio is the mastermind there.
Throw it out there.
Yeah, Sergio is the mastermind.
Yes, yeah. In fact, Sergio just tried to call me, but I told him I was talking to you. Uh, uh, but I know that, I mean, people loved day one of the Winter Star Party. I loved it because it made me feel like I was there. You know, I've been to many Winter Star parties, maybe 20 of them, and maybe more. You know, getting to know people like Tippy Dioria, who was the founder of or one of the founding people of Winter Star Party. Don Parker, who was there almost every year, incredible planetary photographer.
Yeah,
Um,
Don was such a great guy. I've been
yes,
to his house, and it's just so giving of all of his knowledge. He would sit down, he would talk to you, and he would tell you anything you wanted to know, anytime you wanted to know.
that's
He was
right.
just such a super guy.
Well, not only giving that way, but I know people that like lived in his home and stuff for like months on end. Okay, just because their lives were a little broken at that time. And Don Parker he would extend his his home, explain to his wife why they had to stay and all of these things. He was an amazing individual. He really was. And one of the kindest guys, but also one of the funniest guys you would have met. He had a sharp sense of humor and sharp wit, and the man was brilliant. So we were lucky to know him. Um,
Agreed.
are you getting a message there?
Well, I'm actually just going to text him to see if he's coming.
Oh, okay, all right. Hey, maybe he's watching the program and he's just pulled off to the side of the road or
Well,
something.
that would be spectacular.
It's happened before.
I believe it.
Um, but but anyhow, let's talk a little bit about. So we mentioned that the Southern Cross Astronomical Society gets started a long time ago, back in the 20s. Next year is going to be their 100th anniversary. The whole reason for the organization was to do public
Actually,
educational outreach.
that is, it's part of our mandate.
That's right, and you guys have kept it up, and I'm really happy to see that there's still people inspired to get involved with the SCAS. I think you guys call it SCAS, but
Yeah, SCAS.
is it SCAS?
Just one program that we do at a place called Fruit and Spice Park down in Homestead. We
Yeah.
do it twice a year. We average about 1,200 people in 4 to 5 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow. That's very good. That's
that's
very
a
good.
huge event for them.
Yeah.
And by far, it's our biggest event as well.
Well, that's great.
Every
Well,
Saturday, we have two programs going, one at Bill Sadowski Park and the other at our observatory property, the Diori Observatory out in the Redlands.
hmm
So people can come to either one. We're trying to shift more people to come to the observatory to
okay.
be, in a dark sky environment. And also out there, we have the opportunity to teach people how to use telescopes too, because I have at least 6 other scopes that I can roll out of our trailer and set up on the pad. And another 6 people can be learning how to navigate the night sky.
Right. Right.
They're all computer controlled scopes, but I always try to help people learn the names of the stars
Sure.
because there's no greater feeling than star hopping to your target and you look in the eyepiece and bang, there it
And
is.
you found it. That's right. You
No
found it
computer.
yourself. I agree. I agree. So computerized telescopes computer controlled telescopes are great for many reasons, but uh, you know, uh, you can always turn those computers off and go organic, and try to test your skill in finding a faint galaxy or something that you've never seen before. Some globular, some planetary. It is a lot of fun.
Scott, I'm sorry. That's my doorbell.
That's your doorbell.
I'll be right back. Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So, well, good. Well, Jerry, we've got a few minutes here. Why don't we talk just for a couple of minutes about
The changes.
we have new firmware we've been working on. Maybe you can give them just a couple of minutes here to talk about it, and then we can go
I
more
plan
depth.
on. Hopefully, I was just running the thing. I'm going to demo it here in a little bit and show you
Okay.
some of the neat features. But so Wes McDonald and I have been working on this firmware for like over 2 months, probably almost 3 months now, in terms of improving it and adding some of the features that we've been talking about for the last at least a year, maybe 2 years on some of them. There's one chief one that everybody complains about, which we've corrected, and that's switching between serial and Wi-Fi connections to go ExploreStars, and then if you want to do a serial ASCOM connection. So today they're with the new firmware, they're going to be available both at the same time. See, there's no more switching. You can just start up your ASCOM driver and connect to the serial port, or you can start up your ExploreStars and connect to the wireless. And there's an advanced feature. There's something coming along that I don't want to talk about yet. That's gonna help. It's gonna use this functionality. But one of the things that you can do, which I'm going to demonstrate today, is you can connect the ExploreStars application to the wireless channel and the ASCOM at the same time.
At the same time.
And then
that's
you
pretty
can
cool.
You can control them out from either side. Wes McDonald was spearheaded this effort to figure out how to simultaneously send commands from either side, back and forth toggling. And there's locks and there's all kinds of little marshalling that goes on that we had to figure out to make sure that it was stable. And that's what we've been troubleshooting over the last week or so, getting that functionality nailed down. And I think today I think I'm going to be able to demonstrate that to everybody and show you how I can seamlessly go back and forth between manually moving them out with the buttons on the ExploreStars and slewing to an object, and then it tracks it on the ASCOM driver with cart to seal. I'll have cart to seal hooked up to the chart, and you'll see when I slew to an object in ExploreStars that it shows you that it's going there on the chart. And the same thing, if you slew to an object in cart to seal, it'll show you the coordinates on the live coordinates on ExploreStars. So it's kind of neat.
Very cool. Now, you guys have been you and Wes have been working on this for a long time. How much time do you have into this already?
Hey, Scott.
I've been working weekends.
You've been working weekends?
Yeah.
And late at night, yes.
Yeah.
I was mistaken about the telescope.
What's that?
This is actually one of yours.
What?
Back when you were with me.
Oh yeah, check that out. That's a Starfinder bead telescope. Yep. Awesome.
Look, it even came with the Starfinder astronomy software.
Wow. This is kind of a blast from my past right there. That's
Yeah.
right. Good Lord. Well, so tonight we're going to have day 2. So we have 4 nights of Winter Star Party. This is day 2, and I cannot remember all the programming that's in day 2. I haven't really been able to watch much of it. I've just been loading it up and getting it ready. What can you tell us about day 2?
I have a paper in my office that has day 2.
I got it right here. Hold on, I do. We start off with Dean Regas, okay? Astroarchaeology, okay? We've got Andy Campbell, awe-inspiring deep space astrophotography.
I think he's from Australia.
Yeah. Dr. Don Parker, we've been talking about him today. He's going to be on Mars and planetary imaging. You're going to hear from the master himself.
Oh yeah, that's a legacy video.
All right, that's really cool. Do you recall when that was filmed?
I want to say maybe 2007, 2008.
Okay. All right.
Honey, I already got it, unless it's somebody else. Sorry, that's my wife.
And then there's going to be the Dioria Observatory dedication. Now,
Oh yeah.
Is this the
That
same observatory you're talking about in the dark sky
Yes.
area? Okay.
Yeah, you'll get to see Tippy and Patty and Don Parker and Mike Reynolds.
And Mike Reynolds. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah, these are all my friends. Yeah. Oh, that's great. I am so happy you guys put this together. I can't tell you. You know, much of my many of my years in amateur astronomy and the knowledge that I've gained in amateur astronomy, I have to attribute to these people. Mike not only had his expertise, in evaluating products. He used to evaluate a lot of our products and stuff, but we would discuss, how to make them better, and so, what maybe a lot of you don't know is that people who review your products often will give you insight into what you can do next, and so I've always enjoyed that kind of collaboration. Mike and I also did a lot of collaboration with Tippy Dioria on educational outreach programs and recognition programs. So we did something called the Astro Oscars every year. We have not yet revived that. I've threatened to many times, but we'll see what happens here in the next year or so.
I always thought that was such a tremendous program. I really thought you guys went way above and beyond for that.
Well, there's people that deserve recognition that are
Absolutely.
That they do so much work in educational outreach, and they kind of they're unsung. So we felt, and I still feel this way, that they deserve recognition. But there's a lot more to that program than what I just rattled off there. But if you saw yesterday's program, you would have saw the variety of astronomers, the excitement of being at Winter Star Party. They did a lot of aerial shots so you can see the lay of the land, which is so beautiful on the Florida Keys. If you had registered with the Winter Star Party, you could have won prizes. So they gave away prizes during that program, and they'll be announced here during the show, as they were last night. And you'll see vendors hawking their products like you would at Winter Star Party, which is always kind of fun. And I think that we wrap up after, God, it looks like 1, 2, maybe 3 hours of programming, something like that. So. And there'll be a pre-show. We'll have David Levy on. Russ will be on with us. Not sure if Sergio will be on or not, but and you can chat, with people from the Winter Star Party. They'll be on the live chat as well, and you can ask questions about SCAS. You can become a member of SCAS if you'd like. I joined officially yesterday, so I'm now a member.
Yeah.
That's right. And
right now, I think you might be our most famous living member.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Infamous.
Well, maybe there was a time, I'm sure.
Oh, there was.
He's
maybe
notorious.
More times.
He's notorious.
Right.
That's right. Oh, anyhow. I've had so much fun at Winter Star Party, having been there many times, but also I'm just loving this broadcast that you guys are doing, and it's really super. So, would you like to wrap up with anything else you'd like to say about the club or tonight's schedule or anything, Russ?
Just stay tuned. If you registered, watch, because we have some drawings for door prizes.
Yes.
And we will be back next year. I promise you. The Winter Star Party is not over.
Oh, no, far from it. Far from it.
Anytime you guys are in Miami and you want to take a little time out and get some tasty views from one of our telescopes, you can find us on Facebook. My number's pretty readily available. Just give me a call. I'll be happy to take care of anybody.
That's great. Well, Russ, I'm going to take you up on that one myself. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great offer. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun. I'll take you out for dinner too. That'll be fun. Well, Russ, thank you so much for joining us. And I know that you had a hard working day today, and that you'll be up late tonight. But thanks for taking some of your day out today with us.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Okay.
This was a lot of fun.
Thanks a lot. All right. So, and you have to stay tuned also tonight, starting about 6:30 p.m. We'll have the pre-show for the Winter Star Party. That's 6:30 p.m. Central. So David Levy will be there. I believe Russ will be there. And, of course, I'll be there. And then the actual Star Party broadcast itself will start at 7 p.m. Central. So for an exciting day 2. So, okay, it's all yours now, Jerry.
All right. Well, I'm going to see if I've got it working. It's been working for the last few minutes. And
now, is this going to blow up in front of our
course.
entire audience?
Of course. That's going to stop working as soon as I start to move stuff around. That's the way it is.
So you guys are the first to ever see this, okay?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
And this is what Wes and I...
I'll tell you this much. I have not seen it all work yet. Okay, so this is
right. Exactly. This is the first demo, right?
Right.
So
Jerry's brave.
Yeah. So you can see here, just to give you some idea. This is the board. This is the large board. This is like the board that's in the G11, the Exos 2. This is the PMC-Eight. I've got 2 motors connected to it, and I've got the software running. It's running the new firmware. I've got the ExploreStars connected to the board through the wireless interface, and I've got the ASCOM driver. See the path down here? You see my? Mm-hmm. I've got cart to seal running with the path connected to the serial port. And just to give you an idea, I'm going to slew to another object here in the chart. All right, I'm going to center on that, and I'm going to hit the telescope slew just to show you that I'm connected to and then you can watch the motors. See the motors down there moving around? All right, so I just slewed over this object, and if you look here, the RA on the ExploreStars, right here where it says OTA data, it says 045 15 16, and that's basically where we're at. Let me click on the star, so you can see what the chart coordinates are. All right, why did that go away? Let's start to act up. So it's 45 13.6 is the actual position on the chart, and it's 45 15 on ExploreStars, and the declination is -10 29 56. And that's exactly what it is here, -10 29 56 on the mount. So now let me show you this. So I'm gonna now go to ExploreStars, and I'm gonna use the push buttons to move it up, down, left, and right. So watch the motors and watch me push the button, and watch the chart at the same time. So I'm gonna move it up.
It's like
look there,
chewing walking gum.
Right.
Yeah, walking gum, chewing.
All right, walking gum. Let me move it back so you can see I need to zoom out a little bit.
Chewing and walking gum at the same time.
Chewing and walking gum at the same time. Okay, there. So now let me move it down. So see the motor moving in deck, and I'm pushing the button on ExploreStars. And I'm going to move it So right now it's moving in the axis. I've got the azimuth coordinate system on the chart. So let me move that to equatorial. So it looks like it's moving
Okay.
left, right, up and down. So let me move it the other way. So if you look, you there?
Yeah. It's amazing.
Now people
Okay,
are going to ask.
So why is this so cool? I will tell you why. Okay. If you, I mean, you got the ultimate control with a tablet. Okay. But to see it up on the screen of your computer is cool because you can have this on a larger monitor. An audience could be watching, where you're moving in the sky. You can have, if you're doing outreach, you can have a kid hold onto the tablet and control the telescope. And, if you had a situation, this has happened to me, okay, where somebody is walking near your telescope and they hit a cable, okay, or, something. I've dropped hand controllers, I've dropped computers, tablets, iPhones, all kinds of stuff. If you break your iPad and you're controlling the telescope and you're hooked up both ways, you're never out of control. You're
Right.
still hooked up. Okay.
It's still
So you got a
communicating.
redundant safety feature here. And that's pretty important if you're doing something, let's say like an eclipse or, some sort of
Some transient event that you really can't miss.
That's right. Or you're in the middle of an astrophotograph,
Right.
You don't want to lose your tracking and your go-to control and all the rest of that. Okay?
So I'm going to slew to M74, and you can watch it on the chart. So I've highlighted M74 on the chart here, and I'm going to see if this works. So there it goes. You see it on the chart, the white circle?
Mm-hmm.
So I hit that. I went to that target on ExploreStars, and it's going to it. Now, the coordinates are a little bit different. That's one thing I noticed. When I zoom in, you'll see that the coordinates that, let me track telescope. All right, you can see the coordinates are a little bit off from what ExploreStars has and what we have in the Carte de Ciel. So that's what you'll see. You'll see that a little bit. Now, one other thing I want to demonstrate is I'm going to show off the system a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a meridian flip. All right, to the other side and go to a target.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go to Lambda Taurus. All right, I'm gonna center on that star. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the coordinates, and we'll look at that in a minute. So I'm gonna hit slew, and you'll see it's the motor's turning, and the mounts. See how it's heading off to the North Star? I can zoom out and you can see where it's headed. Right here.
Cameron Gillis is asking, what development is required to make smoother screen chart updates?
Oh, so I think a lot of people are used to these high fidelity programs like Stellarium and the SkyX maybe, where it's got a real view of the sky, not a star chart looking view.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that, and so they have high frame rates. Okay, it uses a ton of resources on your computer.
Yeah, it's like running a computer game, right?
Right. So the update rate on this system is once a second. So that's why you see it step. You see it's coming once a second. It's updating the position.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what that is. So, which is a good thing. You don't want to overwhelm the system with a bunch of, because of the your computer system may be able to run it, but you got to have high-end graphics and everything else to do a real real view of the sky as if it's smooth, right?
Right.
So that's just I don't prefer that. I don't care for those types of systems personally, but a lot of people like
software. That's Sky software dependent, right?
Right.
I mean,
that's the program that you buy. That's right. That has
that's
nothing to do with the driver, the ASCOM driver. Our ASCOM driver is very quickly. It'll do high rate transactions. It'll do 30 updates per second if you query it that fast for position updates. So if you have software that query it the position updates at 30 times per second, our control system will keep up with it.
So Cameron says, you know where I'm going with this. He says, butter smooth manual scope pointing.
Oh, it's smooth. I mean, when I do push the button, you mean?
I think where Cameron's really going with this is that he said manual scope pointing. So I'm guessing he's thinking of a encoder-driven manual where you push the scope. Possibly, the other way you could do manual scope pointing is using the up and down, left and right.
Yeah, that's smooth. I can demonstrate that. It depends on how fast you get the rate set to. So I'll demonstrate that in a minute, how smooth it is. Now again, it's moving smoothly.
This is on a Dobsonian
it's a Dobsonian.
We don't make it for the Dobsonian, Cameron. We don't make this system
Not
for
right
the
now.
Dobsonian.
So one thing, I just slewed over to the other side, on the other side of the meridian. I want to show how precise this pointing is. So I'm going to zoom up on it.
Yeah.
All right, see this circle that's in the middle?
Yes.
This is 60 arc seconds across. All right, so it's 30 arc seconds from the star to the edge. And this is where it placed the mount within 1 or 2 arc seconds of the coordinate. That's where it placed it. So let me show you that. So so these are the coordinates of the star. Oh, damn it, why do you go away? 1 hour, so it's 4 hours, 1 minute, 50.43 seconds. Okay, see here where my cursor is? I don't know why it's doing that. Let me center on it. And lock on it. So it should, I don't know why the information about the stinking star is going away on it. Anyway, it's 1 minute 40.43 and the position is 1 minute 50.6 instead of 50.43. So it's 0.2 seconds off. And the declination is, the last digits is 32 minutes 51.5 and it's 32.52. So it's within a couple of arc seconds of the position. So that shows you how precise this pointing is. So, and it slewed all up halfway across the sky, basically. And so let me move to an object again, and let's see if this thing's still connected. I hope it is. We'll see if it works. So I need to go back. I need to go to, so one of the features that you have to do, if you're controlling it with the ASCOM driver with cart to seal or something, in order to go back to the ExploreStars, you have to go to track mode. See, it's right now it's in point mode. That's what this P triangle is. It's pointing, it's slewed to the object. So now I'm going to put it in track mode and this is the Windows version of ExploreStars. You can hit on the iPad and the Android version, you can hit the icon here. It'll switch it between point and track mode. So I go to track mode and then I can go to an object. Let's go to M45, which is right up here in the chart. You can see it there. So M45, which is the Pleiades, and I'm gonna slew to the object. Let's see if this works. And
Wes
there it goes.
McDonald is watching right now.
Oh, is he? Okay, so I just talked to Wes.
Yeah, he says, no, you don't. And I just made a mistake too. I've got my timing all wrong in my head here. The pre-show starts at 6:30 Eastern, which is 5:30 Central, okay? And if you're in Arizona, it's going to be 4:30, and I think maybe California is still 2 hours behind us. So if that's true, it'd be 3:30 Central or East Pacific time for the pre-show. So
Wes is on. So he gets most of the credit for getting all this to work. I helped him a lot,
yes,
but he did a great job with this. He's a very knowledgeable engineer. I mean, he is awesome. And
so Wes says you don't have to toggle to T in ExploreStars.
Yeah, I know. Well, let me try it again because I was doing that, testing it. So maybe that's something that Let's try it again. So I'm gonna go to another object. Right now we're at the Pleiades, M45, which you can see on ExploreStars. So let me go to, let's see, what can I go to here? I'm looking on the chart to see what's near here. Oh, I'm gonna go to M43 or M42. Let's do that. Let's go to M42. So you can see it's in P mode right now. So I'm gonna just go to M42. And if you haven't seen ExploreStars, the interface, you can see how easy it is to go to an object and see what you're looking for. So I'm going to go to M42. It gives you a ton of information about it on ExploreStars. And I'm going to sleuth to M42 and let's see what happens. See that? See that? See that, Wes?
I'm inviting Wes onto the show.
Yeah, I
I'm
tried
gonna
to
log
invite
in
him
right
on.
now.
It didn't move, Wes. So I'm going to go to I'm going to go to manual. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to go to track mode. And so that's something we need to look at. This is the nature, and this is still an alpha. This is an alpha version. We're getting ready to release it as a beta version for people to start testing. So, did that not do it? Let me try it again. I think it has to. It's switched over. It has to release the lock.
Wes says, "Is it Borked?"
No, it's not borked. I don't believe it is. Let me check. It might be. I mean,
He says it's demonstration effect. We already told you that it would break.
Oh, there it goes. No, so the only bork I've seen,
broken. All right.
I've seen the bork so far is when a wireless drops out. But no, so you have to affirmatively insert or affirmatively impress the tracking mode on ExploreStars right now, which I think is good because then it makes you understand what mode your ExploreStars is in, and then so right now I'm at M42. So let me zoom in a little bit. Let me not quite that much. All right, so I'm going to turn my telescope, tell it to track. So it's going to center the chart on M42. So now I'm going to, in manual mode, I'm going to set the rate to 9 and I'm going to go up. Of course, it's down. The chart, it depends on which hemisphere you're in, whether up is down and left is right, that type of stuff, because it's really, that's the thing about gym mounts. You know, I'm going down, but it's moving up on the chart, but that's because it's on that side of the hemisphere. And then I'm doing left and it's moving right. So that's the kind of thing you deal with when you're going back and forth between the coordinate system and your buttons that are labeled left and right, up and down.
Right.
So that's the way that is. So now I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna type in M42. No, I want to go back to M42. So I'm going to center on the object, then I'm going to go here on the ASCOM driver and salute M42. And there it goes. So you can see the interaction between the two sides, between the two control systems or control programs that we have there. So I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. Everybody saw the motors run.
We didn't have any explosions on the pad, so we're still okay.
That's right. We're still good, right?
Mm-hmm. And even if we did, it's okay.
That's right.
You can see that we're working to advance the system overall. We're working with very talented people in the OpenGOTO community, and we want to really give a big shout out to Wes McDonald for all the great work he's done. And you know, it's wonderful to me because, you know, I'm seeing that you know, that the community is evolving the GOTO systems, that, you know, the way to control telescopes, and I think that's fantastic. You know, and so I can definitely see that there'll be more of this kind of stuff in the future. But
Yes, definitely. We got
But you're going to have you have a telescope control system like no other at this point, and it's how backwards compatible is this, Jerry?
well, see, that's the cool thing about it. We'll be able to deliver this firmware to all of our existing customers that bought PMC-8 from day one.
Day one. That's
Yep.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was a key goal for our development, for my development on this new firmware. Was there's a couple of features I've talked about. One is that it's backward compatible with all the hardware, and there's detection features that Wes helped and developed that also to detect the hardware in the system and to be able to configure it. There is some still configuration stuff we have to do, but it's not near as onerous as what it has been in the past. The other thing is that so it's backward compatible and it's simplified operation.
Excellent. Excellent. Thanks for showing us that.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be more to show you about the whole system later.
Oh yeah, there's a whole.
Jerry kind of alluded that there's some other stuff that they, will be doing this more or less slow reveal. Okay, but
That's a tease.
it's a tease.
So, yeah. So anybody that that wants to update their firmware, and I want to say also, there's a new version of the ASCOM driver that goes along with this new firmware, of course.
That's cool. That's cool.
That we'll be releasing at the same time.
So Michael Whitaker is happy, or is wanting to know when it's going to be available and not beta. Okay.
Well, depending on how well a job that Wes and I did, and I take the full blame for anything that's not working. It's fairly stable right now. I'm pretty pleased with how it's working. We probably still have some things that haven't been identified with the beta testing. So I expect that the beta test program would be 2 to 3 weeks, and then my goal is to release this by the first week of March to the general public. I've got some documentation to catch up on. I've got a couple other programs to write that are around this system. But in terms of the firmware, I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's fairly feature complete. There's one other thing that we're going to add to it that Wes is working on. I'm sure there's going to be some bugs once it rolls out. People are going to identify.
Oh, yeah. People will press the 5 key
Yeah.
and the down button.
Right.
And,
Well, that's the thing.
And
There's
then
some.
do this at the same time and say, "Hey, wait a minute, this."
Well,
crashed
that's the
it,
thing, right? Exactly. This is kind of an extreme case of usage, right? So this is pushing the envelope in terms of usage, going back and forth, and that's what we need to make people understand and expect. This started out as a nicety where you didn't have to configure the thing, where you could hook up either the wireless ExploreStars or an ASCOM driver, either one, and not have to mess with it. It would just work. So we improved that to where you can have both communications at the same time, and that's operational right now, as you saw. If you go further than that, if you try to jam, if you try to work both at the same time, which isn't a real use case. That's not a real use case. You can break it. I'm sure you can.
Well, actually, it would be nice to see some people actually try to break it. So.
Well, that's true, but
we could
again,
really
it's not
find a big problem.
Maybe, but that's
Otherwise,
not a real.
We'll just, knock them.
I mean, you can break anything. You can break anything if you try to do this type of stuff. But it's not a real use case for that. I don't want to waste a lot of time working on something that's not valid. That's my point of view.
It's because you have to fix it.
Well, it's not that. It's just that why do we spend man hours developing something for one person unless they're going to pay thousands of dollars for it? You know what I mean?
It's true.
This is for the math, the PMC-Eight.
Well, you've already demonstrated you can go back and forth. I mean, that's
right. Exactly.
Right. So that's a pretty cool.
That's
feature.
pretty robust. I mean,
and so I know some of these people here, are going to want to go back and use that tablet along with their computer, so with their PC, and I think that's going to be really great. Cameron Gillis is really wanting to have tablet control with ExploreStars of his Dobsonian telescope. So that's, I think he's got a big Dob. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. We'll have to see how things go. But we have, of course, thought of putting, PMC-8 type control systems onto Dobsonians. If we do that, then there'll be go-to systems, rather than push to. So that would be part of it. But then you would have a tracking Dobsonian as well. So we'll see what happens. But we did build in the flexibility early on to do many of these kinds of things, because we brainstormed for a long time on what, the different use cases that there could be for a precision motion controller. And that's what this is. That's the reason why it's called the PMC. It's a precision motion controller. It's not just a telescope go-to system, It could be a precision motion controller for a robot, So
Right.
that's what this is all about. Okay, so here I was leading the whole audience to think that at 6:30 Central Time that we would have our pre-show. We will be deep into the show by that time. 6:30 will be the pre-show Eastern Time, okay, which is, so we're at 5:30 here. It's already 5 o'clock. So in half an hour, we're going to be back broadcasting, simulcasting the Winter Star Party pre-show. And so that's right, Cameron. It's 30 minutes from now. So you guys get a sandwich, take a break, come back and watch the Winter Star Party. And thanks for watching today. And a big shout out thanks to Russ Brick for coming on to the show a little bit earlier. Take care, everyone. And thank you, Jerry, for demonstrating that. And Wes, thanks for being on
Wes.
the program too. You should have logged in and corrected Jerry and shown him how it's really run.
Yeah. Right. We'll work this. I'm sure after I get off here, I'm going to talk to Wes and we'll talk this little issue.
That's
over.
right. That's right. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Take care.
All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
The Southern Cross Astronomical Society of Miami, Florida is proud to present the 2021 Winter Star Party Virtual Edition, February 8th through the 11th. Because of COVID, we will not be able to get together in person this year, but we won't let that stop us from getting together online with old friends and make some new ones. There will be all new presentations about double stars, astroarchaeology, Mars exploration, and more. Enjoy classic videos from past Winter Star Parties by Tippy Dioria, Dr. Mike Reynolds, John Dobson, and more. Then join us February 8th through the 11th from 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.explorescientific.com/Winter Star Party. Mark your calendar. See you there.